It's time to be kind with Marley Q.
Because the time to be kind to ourselves, each other, and the world is now. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, Parker. This is episode number 17 with featured guest Beatriz Newborn. We're all friends here, so we can call her Betty. Betty is a self-proclaimed coffee addict, Disney lover, skincare consultant, philanthropy guru, mompreneur, and higher education professional too. Betty is a longtime partner and one of the first people to listen and reach out to me, offering to support our podcast as a sponsor. I wasn't surprised to receive her call to Park because Betty's passion is helping people, and she's been an active philanthropist since high school, just like me. Our shared passion for philanthropy and education has led us both to earn a master's degree in higher education. Only she has worked in the higher ed profession for nearly 20 years. Betty currently works at my alma mater, Florida International University, where she focuses on raising funds and awareness for parent and student philanthropy. And like I mentioned, she's also a wife, mom of 2 boys, and a small business owner for the last 5 years as a consultant for Rodan and Fields. You know, the doctors that created the popular Proactive solution back in the days. Well, she's our featured guest today to share her unexpected journey into skincare and teach us all a few valuable tips on how to be more kind to our skin, even if you've never had a skincare practice before, like me. You're going to want to stay to the end of the episode for your chance to win free giveaways from our awesome partner today. Let's listen and learn. Welcome to the show, my beautiful friend and partner, Betty Newborn. Thank you for making the time to be kind today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited and just energized to be here with you. You know, I absolutely am such a fan of you starting this podcast. So I'm so excited to be one of your guests.
Thank you. And not just our guest, but a featured guest and a partner, one of the very first people who reached out and said, hey, I want to support your podcast. I want to be a partner. What do I need to do to get on the show? And, you know, it's not even about marketing, you know, yourself. You're just such a giver. You're such a philanthropist. You're like, I just want to support you and your mission of inspiring kindness. And I just thank you so much for being one of our very first partners.
Oh, believe me, it's my pleasure. I'm very excited for this. I think that you have quite the message and I absolutely adore it. I think that especially, you know, the world that we're living in right now, we need to be sharing about being kind to each other, to ourselves. So I'm just very happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. Yes, we do need to not just make time to be kind, but turn up the volume on kindness now more than ever. I agree with you. And our story kind of goes back a little more than a decade as a fellow philanthropist. That's how we initially connected as volunteers, right? With the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life. I was a volunteer of the year. I helped to start the Florida International University Relay for Life event, which is still going strong. We are both FIU Panthers and big spirited Florida International University fans. So that's how, we got started, just as through philanthropy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so funny. Every time that, Miami is very big, but it's very small. And it seems like I moved back down here from New York in 2010, started working at the Cancer Society, and you had just left, stopped kind of really volunteering massively as you were one of the founders of the FIU Relay. And so then I go to FIU and I'm the manager there. And all of a sudden I see Marley and I'm like, our paths cross again. I love it.
Yes.
And of course we stayed connected, and it's so great because you're an event planner. I mean, I've called you throughout so many times, needing kind of event guidance and support, and just, kind of seeing your events roll out and seeing how we can involve others. So we've always kind of stayed connected. And then we started connecting, on a different level, in a way that you can be kind to yourself and something different. And so this is really fun too.
Yes. I love that the journey has morphed and shifted, but it's always been with the underlying foundation of kindness, right? I definitely always prioritized being kind to others my entire life. And it's only as of the last really 6 years or so that I've been practicing self-love and kindness and actually making time to be kind to me. And one of the last things that I ever added to my practice of kindness was being kind to my skin. So when you reached out to me wanting to be a featured guest and a partner on the show, I'm like, how perfect is that? We're right, in the heat of summer here in Miami and sunny South Florida. It is just hot. And I know that I have a history of being really, really unkind to my skin. And you were the first person, the only person really that I confided in to be like, hey, can you help me out here? I've hit my 30s and I don't even moisturize my skin. What do I do? So thank you for being my kind guide as it comes to skincare. And that's really what I want to focus our time today on is first your journey, because you're a mom of two. We talked about you being a philanthropist all your life as well, working in nonprofits and in university settings. But you're also a small business owner and you started your own consultancy a couple years ago that I'd love for you to share just that journey and that shift and how now you're helping people be kind to their skin.
I think it's really interesting, as we grow up, maybe you've had a mom or a sister or someone tell you oh, you need to moisturize. And that was definitely me. My mom always said oh, you have to moisturize. But that's the extent of what I did, moisturize. Right before my makeup, I put some moisturizer on. And about 5 years ago, because of my work at FIU as a fundraiser, I was taking part in our fishing tournament where we have a silent auction. And one of my sorority sisters said, I would love to support you. I would love to give you one of our regiments from Rodan Field so that you can auction it. And we made $300 off that item. And it was so great because the money supports our scholarships and we were so excited. And so I called her and I wrote her a little thank you note. Thanks so much for, your support to our student scholarships. We're so grateful. And she said, oh, I would love for you to come, over to my house. And so you can see some of the products. And then you kind of felt okay, now I have to go because she, helped us raise all this money for scholarships. And we're so grateful. Aside from the fact that I would love to catch up with her and all that fun stuff, I kind of felt uh-oh, she's got me. This is a direct marketing
She's going to sell me something.
Yes, exactly. And so I actually went to her house with no wallet, just my license. Okay. Because I didn't want to buy anything. And and then I got there and she sold me the whole kit and caboodle. And I was I just wanted an eye cream, maybe. That's all I wanted to buy. But she sold me on becoming a consultant. And she basically said to me, look, I gave her every no in the book. I said, well, my husband's a teacher and he's off for the summer and, he's not getting his full paycheck right now, all these things. No. And then, she asked me look, we have a 60-day money back guarantee. And you can make money in the summertime that you're waiting for your husband to get his full paycheck. And I was well, and then she's if you don't make the money that you think you can make, you could just return it, empty bottles and all. And I was all right. So I called my husband literally and I was give me a credit card. And he's oh my God. I was just don't ask questions. I just need my black credit card. And that's how I started as a consultant. And that was early June. And I did nothing until my birthday weekend, which was at the end of the month. And I had a little gathering, a little brunch at my house. And I told my family and my friends hey, I decided to do this crazy thing. And now I'm a Rodan Field consultant. And the products are great. I've been using them for 2 weeks and I actually like them. We have this 60-day money back guarantee. If anybody wants to use them, I'd love to introduce you to them. And that's how I got started. And, a lot of people do the events things. I'm really not about it. I go and I support my teammates and my coworkers that do Rodan Fields events. But for me, it's just been about contacting friends and family and just, that personalization of a Facebook message. And sometimes it's kind of funny because MLMs, as they're called, multi-level marketing companies, have these really bad stereotypical ideas of oh, the girl that I talked to from high school is going to call me and ask me for, if I want to start using skincare that she's selling. But the truth of the matter is that I might be the only person that's calling someone. So if you say no, that's okay. I'm totally okay with it. But at least I gave it a shot, right? I introduced you to it. And I kind of fell in love with the products. I started doing more research as a consultant, how I can help people, how I can help my customers, my friends, what they were going through. I have friends that have super sensitive red skin. Oh, what do I do? Well, we have a product for that. And then we have people that have super oily skin. And what can I do? And so I started doing more research and I actually love skincare. And I didn't really know I liked it until, I gave it a shot. So it's just been a really fun way to do something different to connect with people that I haven't talked to in a long time. Some people from high school, some people from grade school. I had a friend just this weekend that purchased one of our amazing products, a pore cleanser. It's like a vacuum for your pores. I love it. And literally, she and I know each other since 5th grade. And she's a health coach. She's super smart, super great. We haven't connected. We like totally lost touch somewhere around high school, and got to, connect and talk and just see what her life is like now and what my life is like now. And then she decided to buy one of my products and support me and my family. And it's a great way to support people, to be kind to each other, to kind of for people to be kind to me. I mean, this supports my family. It's just, they say that whenever you support a small business, an actual person does a happy dance. Well, I am the person that does the happy dance over here when you're buying skincare from me. So it's really fun.
I could totally picture you doing the happy dance. Wow.
Oh, for sure.
I love it. I love it. Well, Betty, I really think that, your journey of philanthropy has merged you into this small business opportunity with Rodan & Fields on purpose, right? Not all of us have a mom or a role model that has encouraged skincare. I had the complete opposite of that. My mom doesn't even wear makeup. Okay. Like I didn't even, zero. And she's an incredible role model for other things. But as far as, taking care of yourself and prioritizing you, this was an area that I really needed some guidance. And you were that kind friend, really not through, the persistence or like you said, the MLM marketing, stereotypical, spiel. It was really more through giving. You were constantly putting out tips and information and just encourage people to remember like, hey, your skin is the largest organ in your body. And hey, you're made up of 70% water. Are you hydrating enough? Are you taking care of your skin? Because the more you take care of your physical skin, the more that it glows, right? I mean, I'm pregnant now and people are like, oh, your skin is glowing. And I'm like, I'm not sure that it has to do with my pregnancy. Why don't you talk to my friend Betty because I use Rodan & Fields.
Yay! I love that. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just really grateful for you being that
so
kind guide. And I'm hoping that today on the podcast, you'd be willing to share maybe just a couple of your top skincare tips. And maybe for people like me that might be listening, bring some awareness as to ways that we are being unkind to our skin, like things to not do, I think are just as valuable as tips on what to do.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's so funny. Like I said, when I started as a consultant, I had a 6-month-old. I was super crazy busy. I did not think I could do both. But I started reading up more about what the company does and how I can help people, because what I didn't want was for someone like you that was trying to start their skincare journey and ask me oh, what do I do for this? And then I'd be like, I don't know. And sometimes that does happen. We don't know everything. But so I started getting to know the doctors more. And so these 2 doctors that started Proactive way back when are Stanford educated women who are super smart. And so they have tips. And so I started kind of adopting them as my own tips, because obviously they're the dermatologists. They know what they're doing. As a consultant, I'm here to be your helper and your guide. But really, I rely on the super smart doctors that created these amazing products. And so some of them are things that we've all heard. Like you just said, hydration. That's my number 1 tip.
Many people that were listening may not know that there's a difference between hydration and moisturizing. Listen, I'm going to be totally real and transparent here, as I always am. Ways that I was unkind to my skin. Not only did I not drink enough water, I never moisturized. I'm talking about I didn't even have a moisturizer for my skin, not just my face, but my legs, nothing. I'm pregnant now with my 2nd baby. And don't hate me, ladies out there. I'm going to say this now. I don't have a single stretch mark, not one. And it's because I moisturize all the time now, as of the last 6 years or so. And I drink water all the time as well. And I never wore sunscreen. I would go to the beach and put the tanning lotion on, just make me dark. I don't want sunblock. Never wore sunscreen on a daily basis. I mean, these are really bad things, right? And that
was my next tip. I mean, SPF is so important. We are in Miami, but others might be listening from around the nation. And here's one of the things that is really, really important. People say to me all the time, well, I'm only going from my house to my car and from my car to my office, so I really don't need to wear SPF. Absolutely need to wear SPF every single day. And we were volunteers. We are volunteers, in some ways for the Cancer Society. We know that skin cancer is the number one cancer that is diagnosed in everywhere in the world. And it's the one that's the easiest to prevent. All you have to do is wear your SPF. And I do know some cancer survivors who unfortunately have gotten cancer on their arms. Why? Only their left arm, because when they drive, you are driving. It may not be a long distance, but your skin may not be able to tolerate the sun. The other part is also cancer on the face, on the nose. It just happens all the time. And so that's something that when we're driving, people on the left side might get a little bit of reflection. You might get, that's cancer because we need to wear our SPF. So definitely my number one tip, it doesn't matter if you're going a short distance, a super long distance, definitely use a moisturizer that has SPF already, or if you need to go through that extra step of putting it on, definitely take that extra step. And sometimes we don't do it when we're young. It's okay. Start now. It's never too late.
That's exactly
never
what I was going to say to those listening, because I know that I kind of kicked my butt for a while for starting my skincare journey very late in life. But I am just so grateful that I started when I decided to start, because I know that here we are 6 years later of me actually prioritizing my skin or taking better care of it. I can be a lot better still, but at least I'm aware of it. And I try to just be better the next day and making sure that I am drinking enough water, wearing the sunscreen, that I'm cleansing my face in the morning and at night, moisturizing. So I used to wash my hands with I'm talking about scalding hot water. For some reason, I believed that if I washed my hands, and I wash my hands all the time, I'm not a germaphobe, but I wash my hands a lot. And now with COVID-19 and all this, I'm telling you, I wash my hands a lot. And I would always do it with hot water, not lukewarm, not cold. For some reason, my brain believed that I needed to wash my hands with hot water in order to kill all the germs. Please tell me how my poor little hands are still they look way older than they should be because I was so unkind to my skin.
Well, it's so interesting. When I had my first son, I had a lactation specialist come to the house because there was issues. And she came here a week after he was born on a Friday night. My house was full of people wanting to visit the baby. And that's the time that she was able to come. And we were like, okay, come over. And I was fine with it. And so we go through our whole consultation. And at the end, she's like, oh, let me see how you bottle prep and all this stuff, just to see how she can help me. And so she notices the hot water. She's like, why are you using hot water to cleanse the bottles? And I was like, well, because, disinfecting and I want to make sure. And blah, blah, blah. She's like, don't do that. The germs are leaving with the soap and the water. The important thing is to do the soap on the bottle for at least 20 seconds. And it's the same thing they tell us now with washing our hands, right? 20 seconds of bubbles, 20 seconds of really washing everywhere. And that's the same thing I've been practicing. Thank God she came only a week after my son was born, because my hands were already super dry from just 1 week of washing the bottles. And I have friends that wear the gloves and they're like, no, because the hot water disinfects. Okay, so we boil the bottles if we need to. We sterilize them. There's different ways. But our face, does not need hot water, my friends. And our skin really does not need that at all. We need, even sometimes they say, right before you leave the shower, do a spritz of cold water to seal in the moisture. And absolutely, I love it. It re-energizes you. And it just really, to me, I absolutely love it for my hair. But my skin appreciates it too. I don't think definitely hot water is the way to go. So don't do it to your poor skin. It does not need it.
Listen, it was just an awareness thing. And that's why I wanted to put it out there, just in case anybody else was being silly like me, thinking, that hot water was the way to clean your hands because it's going to clean them. Just stop doing that, because my hands have completely, really healed themselves. And I felt so bad doing this because I just didn't have the awareness. I didn't know any better. Right. So I'm putting myself out there vulnerably. I did something dumb for many, 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 many years, and now I don't. And, soap and water are your friends, but not hot water.
I love it. And I wanted to go through 3 really quick ones, because I don't know how we are doing on time. So I'm going to go quick on 3 things that the doctors actually said not to do. So these are fast, okay? Don't do these. Do not sleep on your face, okay? And I know that this one's a crazy one. How do you stop? I'm a side sleeper, so this is really difficult. But they say basically the gravity and the pressure after time is going to definitely add up to you having more wrinkles and fine lines on your face. So definitely, if you can, sleep on your back. I sleep on my side, and I try to put the pillow further back from my face. So my face, yes, the gravity is not going to be so good, but at least it's not getting super squished. that's just me, but a little tip for you, do not sleep on your face. Number 2, and this goes along with one of your amazing podcasts before this one, do not drink from a straw. Straws not only are bad for the environment, but they also cause fine lines and wrinkles around our lips when we're puckering. So definitely, if you're drinking from a straw all day long, you're going to have those fine lines and, more marks around your lips. And although we have an excellent lip serum that I would love to recommend to anybody that would like it, it leaves your lips super soft and it does work on those fine lines and wrinkles if you do have them already. Avoiding the puckering when you're drinking from a straw is something that will definitely help you. And the last one that they actually said, I have 2 more actually, I'm not going to lie. If you're on an airplane, close the window because the sun at the higher altitude is so much stronger and it's definitely worse for your skin. And so, definitely that's a quick, easy one. Just close the window. Don't leave that window shade up the whole time.
It's also kind to your neighbor. It's kind to the person next to you that's trying to sleep. Close that thing.
Yes, absolutely. And it's so funny. I'm like, who thought of putting windows? Maybe like claustrophobia or something. But it's true. When you're high up there, the sun is like so much brighter. Marley, here's one that is super important for those that are not really skincare savvy: exfoliation. I didn't really know about exfoliation as much as I should have, but here's the thing, especially now in summertime, you have a lot of dead skin on the top of your upper, the skin that actually is under the dead skin. That's the one that needs to get the moisturizer, the serums, the actual products that you're spending money on. And so you need to take away all the dead skin by exfoliating. We have an amazing exfoliator that is a vitamin C, sugar and salt scrub. It's amazing. It's called the microdermabrasion paste, and it really exfoliates. It's a lovely product. I use it on my feet. I use it on my elbows. I use it on my face. I use it on my hands. Why? Because there's a lot of dead skin in our body and we need to get rid of it. In order for the products that you're actually spending money on to actually work, get rid of all that dead skin. Those are things that I really tell all my customers that I live by because they're so important, So I love the straw one. I thought it was so funny when I was listening to your podcast. I was like, yes, and it causes wrinkles. Nobody needs that. So totally, some really, really smart things that we talked about today.
Thank you so much for those tips. I'm going to make sure to highlight them in our show notes because I know that they make all the difference. Again, if you're out there and you're skin savvy, bless your heart. I hope you still got some value from these tips. But if you were anything like me who was like, what? Oh yeah, my skin. What do I do with that? I'm just so grateful for you and your kind guidance always. And I know that you have some special gifts for our listeners. Don't you have some really fun giveaways for some Parkers listening?
I do. I'm so excited. One of the things that I absolutely love doing is sharing the products with people. And so we don't have a ton of samples as Rodan & Fields consultants. And the reason that we don't do samples is because generally you need a little bit of time to know that the products work and that you love them. And so we have a couple of things that you can, sample our serum. I'm happy to send those out to listeners and to friends that, really want to kind of get started, that are thinking this might be for them. And I'm, just leave an amazing comment for Marley Q on this podcast, and I'm happy to send something out for you. But then also, I'm also giving away our Essentials body line, our Essentials skincare line. So it has a couple of things. We have an SPF that just rolled out, which is SPF 50 for face and body. It can be used for both. It's so great because it's not oily or sticky. I absolutely love it. Our Essentials moisturizer, which is for your full body. You can use it anywhere you want, feet, hands, arms, whatever you want. And then our Essentials lip balm, which is SPF 15. I absolutely love that. And then I also have an Essentials. So it's a self tanner. And it's fantastic because it won't leave your legs or your arms orange and tainty. So definitely you use it with our exfoliator and you use it right after, and it's just fantastic. So for those of you that are not like worshipers of the sun like me, and you want to have a little bit of a tan when you're wearing a skirt, or you're going to a wedding, or you're going to a special event, this is a great product. It's fantastic from our Essentials line. So I'm going to give basically almost all the products in our Essentials line to one of your listeners, and I cannot wait to share the products with anybody that's interested.
Oh, I love it. So one of you that are listening that were inspired by this episode and inspired to start taking care of your skin, or to just start taking better care of your skin, we encourage you to leave a review on Time to Be Kind podcast on iTunes. Definitely reference this episode with Betty, and you may get some, randomly selected for these awesome giveaways and prizes. Betty, thank you so much again for making the time to be kind. I know you're a busy mom of 2 boys, and you're a full-time higher ed professional, and you also do your skincare consultancy. I mean, you're just such a wealth of kindness, and you give that currency of kindness away so generously all the time. Thank you for joining us and making the time to be kind today.
Thank you for having me, Marley. I'm so blessed to be your friend and your supporter, and I'm so excited to really just thank you for the opportunity to share with everyone. This is something that, we're all passionate about. You do have to take care of yourself in whatever possible way. And this is a nice, easy way to love yourself a little bit more and to love others. So you can always, if you fall in love with the products now, this is something that you can refer a friend and be kind to others too. So super easy thing. You can keep parking all that you possibly can. So
yes,
thank you for having me.
Of kindness going. I love it. I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned a lot from our featured guest, because Betty is just the partner to help you and me learn how to achieve healthy, glowing skin. As a skincare newbie myself, I took down lots of notes of what to do and what not to do, so you can find a quick recap of Betty's tips in this episode's show notes and transcription page at marleyq.com/17. There, you'll also find direct links to connect and shop your favorite Rodan & Fields products, as well as details on how to win Betty's free giveaways. It's all waiting for you at marleyq.com/17. Thank you for listening. If you're inspired to make a little more time to be kind, please subscribe, leave a kind review, and share with a friend who would appreciate this podcast too. Thank you for being the spark of kindness. See you next time.